Alright guys, I am back at it again, this time with a Beyblade tutorial. So this tutorial has been long requested by you guys and I finally got around to doing it. So in this video I am going to teach you guys how to make your very own real life anime stadium. So this thing pretty much cost me about $30 to make, hence the title, and I'm going to show you guys how to make this. So yeah, anyway, without further ado, Putty Squad, where are you at? Represent down below. Hashtag Putty Squad. Can we reach 200 likes for this video? I think we can, boys. But yeah, we're going to start off with the materials that you need. So first things first, you do need the sled itself. Now the sled, you can buy it off of Amazon for about $35. That's the most expensive thing, but that's going to make up your stadium. So this sled is pretty cheap for what it is, and it's going to get the job done. And I'll talk more about it after this. So next, you're going to want some electrical tape. So I actually got a pack of 5. I ran out of the blue color, but I also bought this from Amazon. But yeah, it comes in red, blue, green, yellow, and actually this is green, and white. So you get pretty much every color that you want, and we're gonna use these just to make the lines on the stadium if you want. But yeah, we're trying to make the anime aesthetic. We're gonna need to make the lines. The next thing you're gonna need are a pair of scissors, so just any scissors will do. Yeah, all right. And then lastly, you're gonna need something that's flat and circular, so something like this plate that I have here, and I'll explain why later as well. But that's pretty much it for the materials. Overall, if you buy everything here, it's gonna cost about $32, so about 30 bucks for an anime stadium. That is a good price. And I will be linking you guys to the stadium and the tape that you can buy on Amazon right now. So make sure you guys check out the links down below. Anyway, we're gonna get to the actual stadium and I'm gonna walk you guys through how I did this. So yeah, let's move over to the stadium. Alright guys, I am back with the stadium, so sorry if this angle is a little bit weird, but I did want to show you guys the stadium itself. It is pretty big. If I just compare it with my standard stadium, check it out. It's almost twice, if not 3 times as big. So the cool thing about this stadium is that it's big and you can do a lot of Beyblades in it. But we'll get more into that later. Anyway, I have the stadium here and it's going to look a lot different when it comes in the mail. So it's going to come with 2 strings on each side, and those are for like people to grab onto when they're using it as a sled. But we're not using it as a sled. We're going to use it as a stadium. All right. So that's when your scissors come into play. You're going to get your scissors and you're just going to cut these strings off. All right. So once you cut the strings off, you're going to have 2 holes on either side of the stadium. And they're kind of hard to see right here because I made a good job at covering them up. But once you get those holes there, all you need to do is take your red electrical tape and just cover them up. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. After that, the stadium is pretty much, or the sled's pretty much ready to decorate. So we're obviously trying to go for that anime stadium aesthetic. And if you guys know how the anime looks like, or how the anime stadium looks like, it is usually 2 circles with 2 lines intersecting. So it's a really basic design, thankfully. We don't need to think too hard about it, but it is a little bit tricky, all right? All right, so the next step here is tricky. You can actually go 2 ways. The first thing you can do, if you want, is to make the lines first, and you're gonna have to eyeball it. You're gonna wanna make it centered as best you can. And thankfully, this electrical tape does peel off really easily and it doesn't leave a sticky mess. And if you mess up, you can always get some more. So yeah, your best bet is to make it as centered as you want it to be, while just eyeballing it. The other approach you can do is take your plate or whatever you have and then start making the circles. So you can make the circles first or you can make the lines first. But yeah, basically you take whatever flat thing you have, like this plate, and then you start using one of the colors, whatever color you want to use, and then start tracing around the plate with the tape. And that sounds kind of weird to do, but yeah, you just take the tape, roll it out, and start tracing around it. This tape, because it's electrical tape, it will bend and it will create a circle. So that's really awesome. And don't worry if it's not perfect. Like I said, you can always try again. So yeah, the thing with this is it's gonna take a lot of patience. Anyway, you're gonna wanna repeat that for the second circle, and you're gonna need a lot or a bigger plate for that. I found like some really large tray, which I can't find anymore. And then that's gonna do your second circle. So the color scheme here is up to you. If you feel like it, you might be able to spray paint the sled itself, but I kept it simple. I used blue for the circles and then yellow for the lines intersecting, and I think that matches the anime aesthetic pretty well. Anyway, let's get to the stadium itself. Once it's ready, it's gonna look a lot like this, hopefully. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so the circles had to be done a lot of times, but I feel like I got it pretty centered. So I have that anime-esque aesthetic to it, which is awesome in my opinion. So the stadium itself, for what it is, it gets the job done, all right? It looks awesome, and you get the anime look without spending a lot of money, okay? So that's awesome. Now, let's get to the downside to this stadium, which I'm gonna grab some Beyblades real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so I do have some Beyblades now, and we're gonna get into the downsides of the stadium. So the pros or the good things about this is that it's cheap, and you get the anime look for really like nothing at all. So only 30 bucks. This is a good stadium. The other cool thing is that you can use a lot of Beyblades in it, which is also awesome if you want to play with friends or whatnot. And that's kind of it. So it's cheap and it's good for friends or just regular battles. The downside to the stadium really is that if you want to do the anime lines, they are going to get in the way of attack types. So I am going to launch my / Valkyrie, and I'm going to show you guys that the lines do get in the way. So if you guys notice, the power driver does have to go over the lines, which is not really an issue, but it might bother you, so you don't have to do the lines themselves. Maybe if you want to get creative, you can spray paint them on, but for me, I kept it simple with tape because the tape can always come off later and it pops, all right? So yeah, that's one downside. Attack types or any tips can get stuck on the tape, but it's not that big of a deal, okay? It's not going to damage your tip. The other problem now is that the stadium or the sled itself, it has a really good slope, but it is a little slick. And here's what can happen if you launch an attack type really hard. All right, so you just saw that. Chozy Valkyrie flew out of the stadium. Basically, this stadium has no walls, and so if an attack type goes really crazy, it can just jump right out. Now, you can fix that if you build some kind of wall system. I kept it simple though. I'm not gonna build walls for it, but you can also try to do that if you want. Now, the last problem here, right, is that it's very loud. So I'm gonna do a battle real quick. So I don't know if you can hear that, but this battle is pretty loud. Because this stadium is made out of metal, it can get loud. All right, so Fafnir won that one, but like I said, this thing is made out of metal, so any kind of bump or hit will be really loud, which might be a problem. I'd recommend using it outside or when it's daytime, hopefully not at night. You don't want to wake people up. But yeah, other than that, this stadium is not that bad. The slope itself is pretty good. It is slightly inclined, so the attack types like slash Valkyrie will work pretty well. So you can actually get a really good attack pattern. You can even get a flower pattern. So let me try that out. All right, so if I use something like Bloody Longinus with a rubber tip, you can get a really cool pattern, like a flower pattern. Check that out, guys. So yeah, it actually goes around like a flower pattern, just like a regular stadium. Now the last thing I wanted to address was whether or not the stadium messed up the tips. So because the stadium is made out of metal, it may or may not damage the tips. It really just depends. If you're launching your Beyblades from really high up, it may damage them. But in my experience, my personal experience, just launching them level to the stadium, the tips have not been damaged. So this is just my vouch for it. I have used it, no problems whatsoever, all right? Anyway, let's get back to my face cam and I'm gonna wrap this video up. Alright, so that is it for this Beyblade tutorial. Hopefully you guys found this to be helpful. Let me know if this worked out for you. And yeah, so it's the $30 anime stadium and that's it. So if we get this video to 500 likes, I will personally make one in a video and show you guys even a better tutorial. But for now, that's it. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for much, much more on the way. So until next time, guys, see ya.